Folks, thank you so much. We have head coach Greg Vanny. And let's just go straight to questions. Let's open up with Neil Davidson.
Greg, can you just give us your thoughts on that game? It must be a bitter pill to swallow the way short.
Yeah, I think it was a hard-fought game by two teams that didn't want to give an inch. Didn't have the greatest flow, but it's a final. Sometimes that happens. And I thought, it's easy to say, by and large, we had all the chances in the game, I think. If I'm not mistaken, they may have had one shot on goal that was from probably 35 or 40 yards out, if I recall correctly. Aside from that, we had a lot of good looks, a lot of half chances, a lot of opportunities. We just couldn't get it on frame, or one little window or one pass away. Obviously, Fry makes a couple of big saves that really keep them in it. So, credit to them, and congratulations to them, really, because they came into a tough place and they fought hard and held strong, and were able to come away with the win. So, congratulations to Seattle for doing so.
Good.
Disappointed that it came down to PKs in such a hard-fought season, and game in particular was going to come down to PKs. That's just, that's not the way you want to finish a game like that or a season. So, but, disappointed, and I'm sure it will hit me and I will break down at some point, but right now I'm just a little bit numb.
We're going to be in the middle.
Greg, can you walk us through the decision to sub off Seba, knowing that penalties could?
Yeah, he couldn't move. He looked at me. It's not like I take him off because I want to. I look at him and he gives me the sign that he can't go anymore. And when he feels like he can't go, then he feels like he's more of a liability to the group than anything. And so that's the decision. It's not, it's not one that I generally want to make, but we had to.
Down here with Jonathan.
Greg, for as much attacking talent as there was on the field tonight, some of the defenders in this game, especially Roman Torres and Michael Bradley, had tremendous performances. For you as a former defender, to see the art of practice like that, what was your perspective?
It was two teams, like I said, that weren't willing to give away an inch over the course of the game. Guys were going into challenges hard, digging out tackles, throwing themselves in front of shots. It was, it's everything you need, and your goalkeeper for them, especially, not a little less for us, to come away with a shutout. And I thought on both sides, both teams were committed to protecting the goal, but we obviously pushed a little bit harder, I think, to try to get the goal. But they did a good job of standing up and protecting it.
We'll go down here to John.
As you said, you kind of pushed hard for the goal. Why was it so hard?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, their midfielders do a good job of stepping out and getting pressure quickly. They're organized and their back line is pretty tight, and so there weren't a lot of gaps to get through. They've got, two strong central defenders where if you can't get away from them, they can defend in their zones pretty strong and pretty well. And they had numbers. They always had numbers around the goal and in the box whenever we got into those areas. So there's times where we just couldn't get that final pass to someone who could finish it. We didn't have a chance to find a window to pick out a corner. If we did, we just missed the goal a little bit here, a little there. The few times we hit the goal, Fry picks things out. A game like that needs a goal sometimes to loosen up one of the teams defensively, and then maybe you start to see more. But the longer the game went on, the harder, for sure, they were protecting their goal and looking for their moments. But they're an organized team, and they have good defensive players with good instincts.
Down here.
Greg, so just overall, what does this say about your team, how you've come as far as very, narrow margin next to bronze, but just the overall quality of your team that you've achieved this year and what you've done
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of this group. From where we were last year to I think what was a lot of adversity through the course of this year. The group grew together and overcame a lot of challenging moments and grew from them. And we got ourselves in the playoffs for the second time, and I thought we really played in the playoffs like the team that really wanted to go and try to win a championship. I mean, we had put away a lot of goals over the course of a handful of games and defended hard and worked hard as a group. And I think there's a lot of lessons for this group to take away from this run that will only make us better as we go into next year and stronger as a group as we try to get back to this and come away winners. So, but it's a group that's grown incredibly over the years, over the last 2 years, and I know their heads are down now, but they'll come back fighting once we start preseason next year.
Over here in the middle.
Obviously, there's going to be roster turnover from a year-over-year basis, but you should have Josie, Michael Bradley, and Javinko for another year, and this core should remain relatively intact. Do you think you guys have it in you for another run next year in 2017?
Yeah, I do. I think one of our key moves in the last couple of years is we picked up designated players who are in their prime, not designated players who are at the end of their game. So we can build and work around those guys as a foundation. Over the last offseason, we've been able to add pieces to grow and be stronger on the defensive side, give us more depth. We've got a very deep team, probably deeper than some people actually really know, and we have some young players that are coming through. Obviously, this offseason we'll look to try to make 1 or 2 moves, 3 moves at the most that really strengthen our team. We'll continue to try to add some depth with some young guys that you get through the draft and through your academy and whatnot. And we're going to build with this core and keep getting stronger. That's our objective. We're just getting started.
Go down here to Grant.
Greg, the save by Fry in extra time on Altidor's header, one of the great saves we've ever seen in an MLS final, I would think. Did you think it was in?
Yeah, I thought the ball had eyes for that corner that it was headed towards, and I thought he was maybe caught a little bit in the middle of the goal, maybe wasn't going to get there, but it just because it was kind of looping and it didn't have a lot of gas behind it, it just gave him enough time, I think, to set his feet and really get back across the goal, and it seemed like he almost pulled it out from behind him in some ways. So it was one of the great saves that I've seen in a big moment, because that goal to me ends the game. I think we win if we do that, because we had them in lockdown in terms of the attacking side. So he saved the game for them. So congratulations to him. He's come a long way. He was a guy that was here when the times weren't as great, and he's managed to keep battling as a keeper and win himself a championship. He was the MVP on the day, that's for sure.
We're going to go in the back, and then Neil Davidson.
Greg, what do you think that this season and this playoff run has done for this team and for this sport in this city?
Well, I think we've energized the city. I feel like there's a real belief in our team, our club, the direction we're going. I think there's a genuine excitement about how this team goes about doing things and how they play. I think we've brought about some belief that this is a group that can get there time and time again. And so, maybe fans who didn't know much about soccer, now they've tuned into one of the best all-time series ever, which was us against Montreal, and one of the most hard-fought finals ever, which was, us in Seattle. And there was a lot of people tuning in, and a lot of Canadians for sure that experienced this trip with us. And I can't imagine that they aren't fans of the sport if they weren't before, or bigger fans of the sport now, because this is, we've always said as a group, if you get to people's emotions and you make them feel good, which is usually what we've done, then they'll always keep coming back and they'll get behind you. So I think the sport will grow from here. I think it's an incumbent upon us to keep playing hard and to keep playing good soccer and keep trying to galvanize the sport up here in Canada.
Neil?
Greg, forgive me for asking this, but you've experienced MLS Cup final pain before, and you've tasted a variety of poison in doing so. You said you're numb now, but given the work you've put into this team, is this one going to sting hard when you come out of that numbness?
Yeah, for sure. The the longer I sit and the more questions I answer, the closer I get to coming out of it. But yeah, I know what it feels like to be in the locker room and be one of those guys as I am now on the other side of it. But I know what it's like, and you start, thinking about every play, every moment, everything that could have been a little bit different, and it hurts. And these guys have worked through all of their energy and everything else, so I think it's normal that they're right in a position to break down. For me, I still have a lot of pent-up energy that's sort of in my system that I haven't been able to get out yet, and that's a little bit, I think, what's holding back the emotion that really will come out at some point, because myself, my staff, everybody around the club put an incredible amount of work into getting us to where we are and giving us the best chance to be successful this year, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will feel it as time passes.
Down here in front, Laura. We'll go sans mic.
Greg, Michael had a very strong game again today, and then he goes and has his penalty save. What do you say to a player after having such a strong performance and then coming up so short in the final?
Yeah, I mean, I know Michael will be disappointed. But at the end of the day, it's a penalty kick, and if the keeper goes the right way and you don't quite get it there, then those things happen. I thought he was fantastic for the whole game. I thought he competed hard. He closed people down. He dug things out. He kept the ball moving. He did what he did, and he did what he's capable of doing for 120 minutes for our group, and gave us a great chance to win the game. For me, penalty kicks, I would never, ever. I took penalty kicks for the Galaxy for a long time. I would never beat somebody up for missing a PK. That happens. So I'm sure he'll be disappointed. But for all of our guys, they gave everything they had to the game, and that's what I appreciate the most.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank
We're going to
you,
let you get back to your locker room. Folks, Coach Schmetzer will be in shortly.
Thanks, guys.
Folks, we have with us head coach Brian Schmetzer. And again, we'll start out with questions. We'll kick it off right here in front. And if you could, please state your name and affiliation and wait for the microphone.
Ryan Krasno, Seattle Sounders.
Yes. Brian, Seattle lifer, played for the club, head coach of the USL team. Can you put into words what this moment means to you?
No, that's the easy answer. That's a short answer. I think it's going to take a while to sink in. What I do know, or the words that I can come up with, is I'm awfully proud of those guys. They're obviously very happy in that locker room. I'm very happy for the traveling support. I'm happy for the fans that couldn't make the trip out here and see the game live. I'm sure there were a ton of people there watching in Atlantic Crossing and some of the other bars that were viewing the game. So I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm thankful for the opportunity that Adrian and Joe gave me. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure another 10 years from now, I'll be able to kind of really reflect and make sure that I really soak this in, because it was a tremendous moment, and one that, may never come around again.
How, Simon Evans, AFP, how appropriate do you think it was that Roman scored the winning penalty? Because he was pretty immense tonight, wasn't he, in defense?
Yeah. Some people say defense wins championships. Roman had a tremendous performance. I think his running mate, Chad, Ozzie, Christian, marshalling, in front of those guys. Josie and Giovinco are tremendous players. They really put a lot of pressure on us, especially early on. I mean, the first 10 minutes they could have scored. So you couple Roman's performance with Stefan Fry, who came up massive with that one save, and then in the penalty kick shootout made the save that he needed to make. And, I was very pleased for Roman, although he will tell you, if you ask him, that he was a forward when he was growing up. We don't know if we believe that story, but he swears that he was a forward when he was growing up in Panama.
Grant?
Grant Wall, Sports Illustrated. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the great saves we've ever seen in an MLS final by Fry in extra time. Did you think it was in? Was it heading in?
No. Wasn't in because the ref didn't call it in.
No, did you think it was heading in when you saw the...
When it was heading in. Okay. Sorry, I didn't understand the question. It looked like it was going to go in, and then all of a sudden here comes his paw, and, he gets a hold of it. So it was a tremendous save. There were a couple other times when I thought the ball might have gone in, so maybe I was a little confused on that question.
Over here, Jeff?
Jeff Carlisle with ESPN.com. Brian, this is a team that really found a resiliency during the back half of the year. Why do you think that came about? And then as a follow-up, just your thoughts on the play of Ozzie Alonso tonight, given that he was carrying an injury coming into this game.
Well, they've been resilient for a long time. And if my memory serves me correct, guys like Zach Scott are very resilient. Guys like Brad, guys like Ozzie, they're all pretty resilient. I think at the beginning of this year, when we started out in preseason, we knew we had a good team, a veteran team, and the reasons for the slow start, whatever, we can pick that apart. I think the base was always there. And so they found a way to win. They found a way to persevere in tough situations. And guys like Ozzie are part of that. His determination on half a leg, because he's got a pulled tendon in his knee, it just testament on how much Ozzie wants to win. And I can't be any more proud or happy that he's in our club.
We go in the back, over in the middle.
Congratulations, Coach. Christian Rouse, Empire of Soccer. What especially tonight, with having to play on the defensive, how important was Nico in alleviating pressure and retaining possession for you?
Well, I would have wished, and I'm not criticizing the team, but I really wish we could have played a little bit better. I think there were key moments where we didn't connect the simple pass, or we tried to force a ball in that, we turned the ball over. I don't know if that was our best soccer game. Nico is obviously a very big part of how we keep possession, where we keep possession. And, at times you have to just, say congratulations to Toronto, because they made it very, very difficult for us. I think we're fortunate to, get out of the game and get the game into penalty kicks.
Ready to go in the back, Brian?
Coach Brian Sherrod, New York Times. Congratulations. And discuss the mentality of the team and how it can stay focused in light of the fact that it wasn't able to muster a shot during the 120 minutes of the game. Are you worried about frustration boiling in at some point?
Well, only our coaching staff's frustration. I mean, not frustration within the group. I mean, again, like I said, they're very resilient. And again, it might not have been our best offensive performance, but there were some opportunities where we were able to get into their half and get some half chances. I think some of our set pieces were fairly dangerous. I thought Andreas Abanchitz, when he came on, swung some good balls in there that were dangerous. But I never knew that we didn't have a shot on goal until, of all people, Clint Dempsey told me. I mean, he was paying attention to the game, so he was the one that said, "Hey, coach, nice job, nice win, but man, we didn't even get a shot on goal." So he's taking notes. He's going to be a good coach one day.
I go in the middle, Tom.
Thomas Floyd, Goal.com. You mentioned Alonzo, Evans, Zach Scott. What does it mean to you to share this moment with those guys who have given so much to the organization?
It means a lot to me. I mean, I think I share it with the entire team. When I took over, we had conversations with each and every player. And the guys that weren't featured in the 18, some of the young guys that have trained hard all year, some of the veteran guys like Hercules Gomez, who didn't get in the game tonight. We've got young players that keep pushing, driving the level of training up. The championship is for all of those guys. So for me, I'm happy for them. And again, just to repeat myself, I mean, I'm really happy for the fans. I mean, I think that they're the ones that really, truly deserve it. I think the club, the Seattle Sounders, are... I'll try and get it right. I think the relationship between the fans and the players is what makes this club so special. And so I'm happy for them.
We'll go in the back.
Anthony Totera, Red Card. Coach, talk about the atmosphere here in Toronto. You weathered the storm for the first 10, 15 minutes. Seemed like you got the crowd out of it. And also talk about the former TFC goalkeeper who is now a champion with you, Stephen Fry.
Okay, well, I'll talk about the crowd because as a soccer fan and certainly as a coach, we watch all the playoff games, so Toronto has to be given credit. I mean, the fans were great, and I don't think they quieted down after 10 minutes. I think they were loud the whole game. I think they were trying to push their team, and I thought the atmosphere was great. I thought that the bleachers on that one side added more noise, and you guys always have had very good fan support, so that was tremendous. As far as Stefan's concerned, I couldn't be happier for him. Whenever a player leaves a club, it's either good or bad. I'm not so sure that Steph ended this relationship on a bad note. He certainly talks very highly of the Toronto organization. But maybe it was just time for him to have a fresh start. And that's just the way it is sometimes in pro sports. But certainly very proud of him. I know you guys gave him his start, so, I think both of these franchises, I think TFC and the Sounders should be proud because although we're on opposite ends of the country, I think we're doing things pretty okay.
Go here with Simon.
Coach, if I can keep your pen busy there. Well, first question, Roman Torres, I saw you pointing on the 6th penalty kick. Did you pick Torres to take the penalty kick? 1. 2, Ozzy Alonso, and was there a conversation pregame where maybe he made sure he was in the game, or did you say you're playing? And 3rd, why are you so dry?
Well, because I just bought a waterproof Gore-Tex jacket when I was in there, and I stay off to the side. If you guys watch me, I stay off to the side. That's the easy question. Ozzy was never not going to play in this game. Testament to, again, how tough he is. He had to get an injection. He had another injection at halftime just to keep himself in the game. He's tough as nails. And then as far as Roman is concerned, Roman wanted to be one of the first 5. But I didn't want to jinx ourselves and say, okay, we're going to have 6, 7, and 8. I didn't want to do that. We handed out the first 5, and then we were trying to signal onto the field because we couldn't walk out on the field after it was tied up at 5. We were, trying to go 2-9, for Roman, and we got that message across, and he was happy to step forward. But again, to the other question, he swears that he was a forward, and that's why he was confident in taking that penalty kick.
Why did you want him?
Well, because he's good at it. In training, he's been good at it. I mean, we practice penalty kicks, and he's pretty good.
We'll go down here, Jonathan.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Brian, when fans around the league watch this game and wonder what their teams can take from the teams that make it to the title game, when they see Roman and Chad anchoring a back line, and they're very good players, they're not the most expensive players in the history of Major League Soccer, they're well paid, but they're not millionaires, whatever. Are those the kinds of players that you can build a team around in Major League Soccer?
Well, another good question because it's making me think. So, look, Toronto's built its team around 3 really fantastic players, but they have a nucleus of other guys that are really good. We have Ladero, Ozzy, Dempsey. That's our team surrounded by a really bunch of good pros, good solid pros. So I think it's just, each team, each franchise does it their own specific way. We are fortunate enough in Seattle to have the ability to have DPs, but we also know that it's a team sport, and not any 1 or 3 guys is enough to win a championship in a league that's very filled with parity. So you have to have those guys that are making good money. I mean, they're making good money, but they have to perform. I mean, I would look at our squad, if I'm looking at my squad, Christian Roldan, a second-year kid. I mean, how good was he? I mean, that run for 60 yards, getting fouled and, finally knocked over because they couldn't stop him. I mean, that's a kid who's not making a ton of dough, but he has a really big influence within our group. So how we build our team for the future, how other teams do it, I think you need to have stars. We're very happy to have Nico, Dempsey, and Ozzy. But we also know that Roman and Chad and Steph, to the question back there, I mean, those guys are important pieces to the puzzle as well.
Before we go to Ivis, we are looking to bring in 2 players. So just a heads up, we'll be bringing 2 players in from the Seattle locker room as well. Ivis?
Ivis Galarcep, Goal.com. Congrats, Brian.
Thank you, Ivis.
First half, Roman took a really hard shot. Javinko shot right in the face. He goes down. He's down for a while. What's going through your mind when he's down? Were you worried you might have to take him out? And when did you kind of know he was okay? When was there a play, or did something let you know, yeah, he'll be okay the rest of the way?
Roman's a very tough kid. I was not nervous. Obviously, concussion protocol and all that. Once he passed the concussion protocol, because our team doctor was on the bench, I had no worries. He's a tough kid.
We are going to welcome to the stage Jordan Morris, and thank you, Coach.
One of the very fantastic players that I'm proud to say that I get a coach. Thank you. And he's not dry. He's wet.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll go to Ryan Krauser in the middle. Wait for the microphone, please.
Jordy, you became the first player in league history to win the Mac Hermann Trophy, the College Cup, the AT&T Rookie of the Year, and now the MLS Cup in their careers, and you did it in the span of 362 days. What has this last year been like for you?
It's been unbelievable. I've said that over all the interviews. I just say it's been unbelievable because as a kid growing up, you couldn't never really dream of that happening. But again, all credit to my teammates. My teammates at Stanford when we were there was family, and we won that championship as a team. And then coming here, we won as a team as well. We had a lot of ups and downs this year. A lot of people counted us out. A lot of people were counting us out before this game started. And all credit to Toronto. They're a very, very good team and made it really, really tough on us. But, the resolve of this team and all year the ability to fight for 90 minutes, 120 minutes this game, and then, ultimately winning in PKs. It's just the mindset of this team that we have, and credit to coach and I don't know, just a team win. It was awesome.
Jordan, congratulations. How motivating was the snub for the Copa this summer?
Sorry?
How motivated did the snub for the Copa America made you feel this summer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that time, obviously, it was tough. But like I said before, I respected Jurgen's decision at the time. There were a lot of great forwards in the mix, and he decided to go with someone else, and that was, his decision, and I completely respected it. But obviously, when you get left off a big tournament like that, it's tough. So definitely gave me some fuel to my fire to try and keep going, keep pushing, and get better. So hopefully I can get called into the next tournament like that.
Next question. We have a microphone available. We'll go down here to Kyle McCarthy.
Hey, Kyle McCarthy. Jordan, the second half of this year for your team has been a whirlwind. How have you guys managed to just keep going through some of the stuff that you've dealt with this season and get yourselves to this point where you're able to grind it out tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a tough first half of the season, but the guys always believed. The belief was always there in the locker room. We pushed out the outside noise, and at the time we had some games in hand. We knew if we took care of those, we'd be right back in business. And then once we made the playoffs, and in the MLS, it's a whole new season once you get into the playoffs. So we knew that. Our mentality was just we got to get into the playoffs, and we did that, and then kind of got hot at the right time. And you see that a lot in the MLS where teams get hot at the right time and then go on to win. So this team has just has a great mentality, and I think showed that tonight.
Before the next question, we're going to welcome to the stage Stefan Fry.
The hero.
We'll go in the back.
I'll put it up there.
You can put it there. Go ahead. Stefan, congratulations. Christian Rouse, Empire of Soccer. The save, just from the cross, Jordan's shaking his head. I don't think he still believes it. How are you processing it? How did you make it?
Well done by Josie trying to go against from the side. I'm coming, obviously. It's probably exactly how you want to hit that one. Sometimes the goalkeeper, you feel like you're not going to get to a ball, but you never know until you try. I try to keep my feet moving, give it my best shot, and luckily I was able to get there. But I got to give all the credit to my keeper coach and my fellow goalkeepers, Tom Dutra, Charlie, and Ty. They've been working their butts off all year, and I think that save is an accumulation of that hard work that we put in as a keeper unit.
We're going to go in the back, Brian.
Brian Sciaretta. Jordan, it was a tough offensive game for both sides to muster up a lot of opportunities. First of all, how tough was the conditions today to allow you guys to play the game you wanted to play? And then also, what was the mood at halftime when you guys are still not getting shots on goal? Did you guys feel like you needed to change anything, and did frustration creep in at all at any point?
I mean, obviously the conditions were tough, but it's the same for both teams. Can't do much about it. It was just like a little cold, so it wasn't anything that people hadn't played in before. And then, credit to Toronto. They did a very good job. They, made it really tough for us going forward, and their game plan worked really well. So at halftime, though, I don't think we were frustrated. We were still in the game. It's 0-0 away from home and in a very tough environment to play in. So we knew that chances would come, and I think they came a little bit more in the second half, at least half chances here or there. And then when it got to overtime, and we just knew we had that team mentality that we were going to push and work hard for the whole 120 and get it to PKs. And I mean, obviously this guy comes up with an unbelievable save and a great save in the PK shootout. And but again, it's just a team effort that the guys put out there, and we were confident going into PKs, and it worked out for us. So
We go in the back.
Stefan, Anthony Totera, red card. Congratulations. It's got to be surreal right now winning it here in Toronto. Still, a lot of supporters talk about you and the time you spent here. Talk about what it means to you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I started my career here, and it was tough, performance-wise on the field. I was fortunate to be able to play early on, which is very important as a goalkeeper, but I think you play to win. And obviously during my time here, we had limited success, so made it difficult. But throughout that time, the fans were always a highlight. I think the fans were always very, very supportive. And I think that's helped TFC transition and finally find some success, the way they've stuck with the team throughout these years. But in the end, to be honest with you, I'm focused on my situation now. I'm in Seattle, and this final could have happened anywhere. We had a chance to make history, and this is what you live for. I mean, I've set this stupid example numerous times throughout the last month or so that when you go to the San Siro and you get a tour of the stadium, and at some point you're going to come through to that black and white picture of the team that won the first trophy, and MLS is pretty young, the teams are fairly young, and you can make history. Granted that the picture probably won't be black and white, but this is what you want to be a part of. We made Sounders history, and for me it could have happened anywhere. I don't care, as long as I was with my team and my teammates. I'm so proud of them, and yeah.
I'm going to go here with Jeff.
Jeff Carlisle with ESPN.com. My question is for Stefan. Jordan was talking earlier about how there was always belief in the team, even in the toughest moments. Mm-hmm. In those moments, how do you guys manufacture that belief? I mean, where does that come from?
Well, if you look at the season as a whole, it was difficult when we found ourselves in that hole. And I think the confidence was a little bit low. But all it needed, I think, or what probably played a huge part was for us to just string a couple of results together. As we know, confidence is massive for athletes, and once we did that, in difficult places too. I remember going to Orlando and going down a goal, but responding well. That does wonders for you as a team. We always knew we had quality. We always worked our butts off on a training field, and I think maybe what also helped is we had enough veterans to know that ultimately at some point maybe that hard work would pay off, which it did pretty well for us. So, but yeah, you also need a bit of luck, I think, in the MLS playoffs. We've seen it time in and time out that you need to have your players healthy at the right time. You need to have them be confident at the right time, and then you need a little bit of luck. I mean, let's face it, PKs is not the prettiest thing to decide a game. Actually, Roman missed a PK yesterday in training, I think. A few days ago, yeah. I'm glad he missed yesterday, not today.
We'll go down to Grant.
Stefan, Grant Wall, Sports Illustrated. Congratulations. It's one of the great saves ever in an MLS final, and you gave credit to your coaches. What sort of specifics are there in terms of making that play that you did that allowed you to make that play?
Well, for one, their simple belief in me to give me a chance in Seattle. I mean, at that point, I had been on the bench or rehabbing for 2 years. So for them to take a chance and then go through growing pains, but keep on reassuring me that you're the man, we got your back, we believe in you, it allowed my confidence to come back. So first and foremost, you need to have people around you that believe in you, so that you believe in yourself. And then if you'd ever go to one of our trainings, I think you can see Tommy works us really hard, our keeper coach. There's spells where we work on one thing and then we work on the next. I mean, but ultimately we want to get better every day. We go pro pretty much every training and go through every session because there's always something to improve on. And that attention to detail and that hard work ended up paying off.
How often do you find yourself reaching behind you to make a save?
Usually something will have broken down for you to do that, but sometimes it's just throw technique out the window and just try to make a save.
We'll go to Andrew Wiebe, and then we are going, after this question, we're going to let Jordan head back and continue to celebrate.
This one's for you then, Jordan. Did you go to the Seahawks parades? Were you there in the crowds for any of those? And then use your imagination a little bit. What's Tuesday going to be like?
No, I wasn't there, but I mean, it's going to be unreal. I think it's the fans deserve this. We did this for them. The city of Seattle deserves this. Such an amazing sports city, and the support that we get at every single home game. It's unreal. And you see how many came out to Toronto to watch our games. We really have the best fans in the league. A lot of people say that, but I truly believe we have the best fans in the league, and they deserve this. So that parade will be as much for them as it is for us, and I'm sure they'll come out in numbers like they always do. So I think I speak for the whole team in saying thank you to them for all their support this year, and we're excited to bring a trophy home and celebrate on Tuesday.
Jordan, thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
Our next
Steph's the
question.
man.
Stefan, congratulations. You both mentioned practicing penalties. How often do you guys practice penalties, and was it something really that gave you confidence heading into penalties tonight?
No, we don't really practice it that often, to be honest. And it wasn't like us going through PKs yesterday because we knew it could potentially come down to it. We were actually playing small-sided games, and I think there was a foul in the box, and someone had to take it, and Roman thought he'd step up and take it. That's how you practice his penalty. But sometimes, I don't know. I think we were confident, regardless, that we have enough quality if it would come down to it. Like I said, I mean, I'm not a big fan of PKs, but somehow it has to be decided. And I'm happy Roman was able to finish that.
We'll take one final question over here on the side.
Hi, Stefan. Laurie Wilson from Metro News Canada. I'm just wondering, in such a tight game like the one tonight, making a save like the one that you made in extra time, does that create some sort of momentum going into penalties for you or for the team as a whole? Does that sort of kind of push you past the finish line, or?
I don't know. Sometimes a save can spark a team and make them find another level and push on. But I think when it comes to PKs, I don't know. Maybe that would be a question to ask the takers for TFC, whether they thought, oh, we can't get one past him today or something. I don't know, but that was my job at the time, to just keep the ball at the back of the net, and I was hoping that we were going to find one the other end, which we almost did with Roman there. The ball squeezing through to him, but either way, we won, and I'll take it.
Thank you so much, Stefan. We're going to ask you to stand against the backdrop so we can take a picture with you and your medal, which I'm sure you're wearing quite proudly. And then you can go celebrate with your teammates. You're going to look right here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Locker rooms are open. Both locker rooms are open. If you need help getting to the locker rooms, there are staff walking away.